are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Loop Podcast, episode 256 of the College Loop Podcast. I'm Dylan Larck. I'm take on Twitter to talk to you about the latest in Auburn athletics news, as in it is week 5 of the college football season. Auburn is taking on Oklahoma this weekend. And I can speak for a lot of Auburn fans where I say I am both very excited and also very terrified of the outcome of this upcoming game. But you know how it works here for the pregame show. Before we get into the Auburn game, we got to pick the 10 games of the week. Last week, pretty rough week for myself, I must say, 6-4 out of my pick'em. So hopefully turning it around right here. Going to try to keep the losses out of double digits, but I don't know if I can. This week, it's been a very weird year of predictions. Can't lie. All right, so starting off with UK, so that's Kentucky, will be traveling to Oxford to take on the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss is a 17.5-point favorite. This is the first tough game in quotes of the season for Ole Miss. Kentucky played Georgia close. Ole Miss is currently a 17.5-point favorite. I think with this being in Oxford, it does fall in the favor of Ole Miss. So I will be rocking with them this weekend, even though Lane Kiffin is a – what's a nice way? I don't have a nice way of saying anything. But, yeah, I'm going to take Ole Miss with this one. All right, so up next, Big 12 matchup, number 20, Oklahoma State, traveling to Bill Snyder Family Stadium, take on the Kansas State Wildcats, number 23 team in the country. KSU is a 5-point favorite. I think we're going to continue to see the trend of Oklahoma State kind of going downhill a little bit. I'm going to take Kansas State in this one. I think they have the edge at every position, and Ollie Gordon still has yet to really emerge as the running back that everyone thought he was. So, yeah, I'm taking Kansas State in this one. BYU up next with a Big 12 matchup. BYU will travel to Waco, take on the Baylor Bears. Baylor is a 3.5-point favorite. I like BYU in this one. I think BYU is the very underrated, being not the favorite in this one. I think they have very impressive wins under the belt, so I'm going to work with BYU in this game. A game with playoff implications up next. South Florida will travel to New Orleans, Louisiana, take on the Tulane Green Wave. Tulane is a 5-point favorite. South Florida has had multiple games this season already where they have given teams a run for their money. Now, they played Miami close for a little bit, but the dam broke, and Miami won 50-15 in that game. I'm going to go with Tulane in this one. I'm going to rock with the home team for this one. I think that you get the home field advantage. It really gives you that edge. So I'm going to rock with Tulane in this one. Yet another ranked matchup up next with Louisville traveling to Notre Dame to take on the Fighting Irish, number 15 team in the country versus number 16 team in the country. And I'm going to rock with Louisville here. I think that we saw a very impressive win last week with Georgia Tech. Been less than impressed thus far with Notre Dame. So I think you're going to see Louisville get the win in this one. Now, a weird rivalry game between Arkansas and Texas A&M. I do believe this is the last time this game will be played inside of Arlington, inside of the Cowboy Stadium. A&M is a 4-point favorite, and I think they're going to get the win here. I know Texas A&M struggled against Bowling Green last week. Bowling Green's been giving a lot of teams issues, like really bad issues. So I'm going to rock with Texas A&M here. I think Arkansas's win over Auburn is, I don't want to say a fluke, but Auburn definitely should have won that game. I think A&M will win that game. So I'm rocking with the Aggies in that one. Now, game of the day, game of the week, maybe even potentially game of the year possibilities. Number 2, Georgia travels to that ugly city on the other side of the state to take on the number 4 team in the country, Alabama. Georgia is currently a 2-point favorite. I like the Bulldogs in this game. I think that overall they have more talent. I think their defense is better. I think they've also been more tested. I think the bye week is really going to help them. In this case, both teams had a bye week. But Georgia's been tested already. They played Kentucky. Kentucky played them close. They got a wake-up call. I like the edge on a lot of positions in Georgia's favor, especially the quarterback position. I think Carson Beck's a better quarterback than Jalen Milroe. So I'm rocking with the Bulldogs in this one. I'm not rocking with them, but I'm going to be picking the Bulldogs in this one. So, yeah, taking Georgia take down Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Now, another fun game on the slate for this weekend. Number 19, Illinois is traveling to University Park, taking on number 9, Penn State. This game ruled about 3 years ago, whenever the overtime rules came into play. And this was the first game that was ever like crazily in deep at the overtime rules. I think it was like 9 overtimes. Yeah, I think Penn State's going to win this game. I don't think they're going to need 9 overtimes to beat Illinois this time around. I definitely think it's going to be the Penn State Nittany Lions on top in this game. Going down to the last two, a future Pac-12 matchup as Washington State travels to Boise, Idaho, take on the Boise State Broncos. Boise is a 7.5-point favorite, and I am going to rock with the Broncos in this one. I liked Wazoo like last week when they won the Apple Cup, but this week I'm going to rock with Boise State. No, did they even play the Apple Cup? Was it last week or was it 2 weeks ago? Hold on a minute. It was 2 weeks ago, sorry. And I rock with them, but they struggled against San Jose State. Boise's been playing very good. Ashton Jeanty is one of the best running backs in the country, if not the best running back in the country. I like Boise in that game, so I'm going to take the blue field to get the dub on Saturday. Last game on the slate, Arizona travels to Salt Lake City, take on the number 10 team in the country, the Utah Utes, who are an 11-point favorite. Arizona has a lot of great things about that offense, the quarterback and Fifta, and, of course, McMillan, the wide receiver, is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to take Utah in this game, though. I think they're they're the veteran team. They're ready to go. They're my favorite to win the Big 12. I think they're a favorite for the playoffs. I'm going to take Utah in this game pretty heavily, actually. So, yeah, I'm going to rock with Utah on that game. And there are my picks for the Week 5 games of the week, the pick'ems of the week. And with that, Auburn, Oklahoma is up next. But on the other side of this break, we'll get started with that prediction. So we'll be right back.
Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your college loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program.
Feelin' Loopy t-shirt is on the second page. It's college loop hat on the first page. Most comfortable items you're ever going to wear in your entire life. So grab yours today. Now, Auburn, Oklahoma. Oklahoma travels to Auburn University, take on the Tigers. The first ever regular season meeting between these two teams, and I wish I was more excited. And sorry, I'm still dealing with that little cold that I had. I wish I was more excited about this game. This game is going to be ugly. This game is going to be absolutely disgusting to watch. There might be another monsoon. There's a hurricane on the way. I hope everyone's being safe. I hope everyone is safe. If you're watching this and you're in the path of it, please be safe. But there's no telling what to expect from either offense in this game. Oklahoma benched Jackson Arnold last week and is rocking with their freshman quarterback, Michael Hawkins Jr. in this game. A dual threat guy who moved the ball a lot against Tennessee's defense in the latter parts of that game last week. Auburn, on the other hand, has benched 2 quarterbacks this year and has no idea who is going to be leading the charge. Hopefully by the time this comes out, there's been an answer. Or by the time you're watching this, there's been an answer. But as I'm recording this, there's not an answer for who Auburn is starting at quarterback. So the question is at hand is, who do you start in this situation? Do you go back to Peyton Thorne? Do you hope that the veteran leadership that he possesses can turn things around for him? Do you go back to Hank Brown and see if he gets back into a funk? Do you take him back out, or do you try to let him fish himself out from that funk? They didn't give him the opportunity last week. If had he gone back in the second half, would things gotten turned around? He was moving the offense down the field, just making some rookie mistakes. Do you throw Holden Garner under the bus? Do you put him back out there, even though he has a foot out the door? Do you put Walker White out there? Do you burn a red shirt and just put him out there and see what happens? Do you have a freshman versus freshman first starts for both players? What do you do? So that's the question at hand for the Auburn Tigers going into this week. Brent Venables already made his decision. He benched his guy last week, and he started a new one this week. Auburn doesn't know what they're going to do, and that's been the issue at hand throughout the entirety of the week. Yet again, I cannot overstate that enough. Injury report has been announced. Oklahoma has a very extensive list of players who are going to be out of this game. Deion Burks is going to be the big one to talk about here. He is the leading receiver for Oklahoma in both yards and receptions and touchdowns, and he's listed as questionable. I think he's going to be good to go. I think they're going to get him to go. Because overall, this is a game that if you're Oklahoma, you're a little worried about. You're going into Jordan-Hare Stadium. This is a very hostile environment. Can you overcome the home field advantage of Auburn? That's what Auburn has. And I know it's been a long time since Auburn has beaten a Power 4 opponent in Jordan-Hare Stadium. But overall, it's still a very rowdy, ruckus environment to go into. This game is going to be at 2:30 p.m. CST on ABC. Of course, this is the game of the week. SEC Nation's going to be there as well. So, both teams had very disappointing offensive performances last week. Both teams can admit to it. All the fan bases can admit to it. This is going to be an ugly game in general offensively. Defensively, though, both teams have a very, very, very strong strength and very bad weaknesses on either side. Tennessee was able to have some success in the run game against Oklahoma. Auburn, of course, has had issues with shutting down dual threat quarterbacks. And Michael Hawkins is going to be one of those guys. And Auburn has a bunch of running backs that can be explosive as long as they can hold on to the football. So going into this game, you can expect defenses to be on the prowl. I think you're looking at a low-scoring game. I'm not going to give my prediction just yet. I'll save it toward the end of the show. But going into this game, you're looking at a bunch of dudes that are going to have to step up in a big way. I think you're looking at the secondary. I don't think that you're going to see a lot of down the field passes, but you're probably going to see a lot of intermediate passes to give Michael Hawkins that confidence that he's going to need if he wants to beat Auburn in Jordan-Hare Stadium. I think overall that you're also going to look at the interior defensive line. They're going to try to run the ball on you. You have to be able to lock it down. You cannot run another three-man front. Let's burn the playbook that consists of only three-man fronts. Let's take all the pages out. Throw them in the fire. Let's just get rid of it. Auburn has, let's see, with Hawkins starting, one, Pavia, Milrow, and I don't know if Babudi, but three more dual threat guys left on the schedule and Cook. I guess Brady Cook is a dual threat guy as well. He just doesn't run as much. Auburn has to figure out ways to shut down the quarterback run. And you're going to be playing against a guy getting his first career start. I think this is the time to do it. I think this is the time you finally can expect to see Auburn make some strides in the right direction defensively when it comes to locking down a quarterback's legs. You need to force him to make mistakes. You're going to have to force him to throw the ball down the field. And Auburn's finally broken the seal on getting interceptions. They got 2 last week. I think that you're finally looking at the secondary and seeing the progress being made. And now you're not going to have Champ Anthony in this game. Of course, he got hurt last week, and I hate it because he was absolutely playing out of his mind until it happened. But Kyan Lee is going to be the number 1 defensive back on this field. Also, Antonio Kite's going to be getting his first start of the year at DB at corner. He's going to be playing outside corner because they're trying to keep Keontae at nickel as much as possible. So it's going to be heavily relied on those two to lock down the outside receivers. If Deion Burks plays, they're going to try to get him the ball. They are going to try to get him the ball. And I think overall you have to figure out ways to keep him in check. And I think Auburn can do that defensively. It's the offense I'm worried about. And going into both offenses, I mean, depending on who Auburn starts, you could be looking at very similar, dead-looking, can't move the football, can't score more than 3 points out of a drive, level offenses. And in my opinion, I think the quarterback that gives Auburn the best chance to win is, in fact, Hank Brown. And I think you actually get more out of it. I think you get more teaching like material out of letting him go back out there after you just benched him, because now you've opened up the door that you're just going to bench anybody that has if they have a bad game, they're not the quarterback anymore. That's the door that's been opened. You are doing more damage to a man's confidence by benching him after he had one bad half than you are by leaving him out there to let him learn. If you left him out there last week, he might have turned things around. You don't know exactly what would have happened, but we know that Peyton Thorne's not it. We know it. We know it now. We saw it against Cal. Give Hank Brown the chance to prove that he is it. Give Hank Brown the opportunity. Give him the keys to the Ferrari and let him show us what he can do. I think that looking at this game, and there's going to be probably more of a shorter show because overall I think that it's been a very weird week for me. So just kind of getting in and out. Looking at this game, I don't think you see multiple touchdowns being scored. I think Auburn doesn't score nearly. Auburn's on pace to score 14 in every single P4 game they play. I see this is tough for me because part of me doesn't want to pick Auburn to win, and part of me wants to pick Auburn to win, and I don't know which one of those is the logical option or which one of those is me just being a fan option, and that kind of answers it, but in a way it probably doesn't. I think that I think that Oklahoma gets the win this weekend. And I'm not confident in that whatsoever. If I said Auburn was going to win, I wouldn't feel confident in that either. I think Oklahoma gets the win. And my score is along the lines of like, what's the ugliest low-scoring game ever? Last week I said this game could be 3-2 either way. But what I've seen from Auburn, I want to say 17-14 Oklahoma. I think that you just see two ugly offenses and one team just scores on one more drive than the other. These defenses are very good. I don't want to get just the offenses are that bad. These defenses are really good. This game could come down to just who gets more pick sixes in this game. That could really be the factor in it, is who just scores more defensively. And I mean, overall, I mean, all you'd have to do is the offense would score 3 points, and then Auburn gets 2 pick sixes, Oklahoma gets 2 pick sixes, and whoever gets the field goal wins. That desperately could be it. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Oklahoma in this game. And much as it hurts me to say it, I just don't know yet. I think Auburn has to make it to the bye week to really get things fixed and get things going in the right direction. And I really hope Auburn can pull it out, though. Really hope it. As a fan, as the guy who covers this team weekly, daily, just about, I really hope Auburn can pull out the win. But my brain right now is telling me no. So, with that being said, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the College Loop Pregame Show. Don't forget that's the wrong number. It's 36 days away to Auburn basketball. I put the wrong number up there. I counted it for the day I'm recording this, not the day this is coming out. So that's on me. I apologize for that. But something fun. I got a new car, And I guess I can show this real quick. They gave me a cardboard cutout of Bruce Pearl. I can't really. Yeah, there you go. They made cardboard cutout of Bruce Pearl. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get this in the background somehow, but I don't know how to do it. And it just fell over. There we go. And hopefully, I didn't the audio is all weird on that. But yeah, yeah, that happened. So more Auburn basketball stuff going in the background of the videos until football season brings me joy as a fan. But of course, with that being said, thanks for watching this time of the College Loop pregame show. I'm Dylan Larck, on Twitter. Also follow me on Instagram as well at Dylan Larck, DYLENLARCK. And of course, right here on the College Loop podcast, we would like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your predictions for Auburn, Oklahoma in the comment section below. Am I wrong for saying Auburn is not going to win the football game? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And, of course, don't forget to check out the audio version of the show as well on Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And on social medias everywhere, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works, all of the College Loop. And, of course, all that being said, let's hope Auburn wins because desperately need one going in the right direction, especially getting one over a ranked opponent would be massive. But, of course, all that being said, thanks for watching some of the College League podcast. And as always, War Eagle.